let's talk about compassion, the very thing that I'm sure you are very proud of, but how it might be killing you, or at least killing your love life. Listen, I need to say this in the way that it absolutely needs to be said, because there are too many women out here drowning in a man's pain and calling it love. Listen, you think that being understanding and being patient and being nurturing makes you this good woman. But what it really makes you is emotionally exhausted, makes you insecure, and it makes you question your own worth. So take it from me, somebody who has definitely been there and done that and who has vowed never to do it again. Because when you have compassion for a man who is wounded and he has not done his own healing work, that compassion becomes self-destructive. And trust me, this is learned behavior, especially if you struggle with anxious attachment, because you've been conditioned to believe that love means fixing things. And so you probably saw your mama stay in a bad relationship and call it loyalty. Or you probably seen other women around you hold men down, men who didn't do the same thing for them. And unfortunately, there is a lot of behaviors like this that we witness coming up from women in older generations. And this is absolutely no shade to those women, because those women lived in a very different time from us. Those women didn't have all the resources women have today. We don't have to rely on men for our financial needs. Our survival is not dependent on a man's provision and his paycheck. So I get why women of past generations put up with so much. But we don't live in that time anymore. But here we are, holding on to broken men who show us disrespect, cheats, and lies. And our justification for doing this is he has trauma. And so we say to ourselves, if we just love him harder, if we just pray longer and stick it out, he will change. But that is your trauma speaking to his trauma. So let me be clear. He's not changing. Because why would he? You are doing all the emotional labor for him, and he gets to avoid accountability because you keep showing up like you're his therapist or his mother or his savior. And the reason he's not healing is because you keep cushioning his dysfunction. Listen, every time you understand, instead of setting a clear boundary for him, you teach him that your compassion is a free pass to keep hurting you. And the reason I know is because I did the same thing. And what I know for sure is compassion is powerful, but out of alignment, it is poison. Because your passion makes you silence your needs. It makes you overlook red flags or justify the bad behavior. And that's not love, that is self-betrayal. And now I can hear you saying, well, he's been through a lot. And that's probably true, but so have you. But you're not out here hurting him and putting him through all of this pain and drama that he's putting you through. So where is the self-compassion? And so you have to stop using his pain as an excuse to let him wound you. Because here's what happens when you love an unhealed man. He drains your energy, he distorts reality and really gaslights you, and he leaves you doubting yourself and questioning your worth. And what you do is refer to all of that behavior as you being patient. But what it really is self-abandonment, and it's dressed up as compassion. And self-abandonment, let me tell you, it is too high a price to pay, even for love. So at some point, you've got to decide if your compassion for this unhealed man is worth what it is costing you emotionally. Listen, that version of you who thinks that she can love him into wholeness, she's the one who needs to be healed. Because she's bleeding and sacrificing for a man who refuses to even pick up a Band-Aid to help himself. So hear this from me. You can't outlove someone's trauma. You can't pray him into accountability. And you can't fix a man who's committed to being broken. And so please understand, Compassion without boundaries is self-abuse. And trust me, I know you have deep feelings for this man. I know how hard it is for you to let go. But you can love him and still not give him access to you until he does his own healing work. Listen, you have to prioritize your healing over him. And this is not you being harsh. This is you being whole. Because trust me, he is not going to wake up one morning and say, wow, I finally see everything she's been doing for me. No. He's going to move on to the next woman while you're at home trying to put yourself back together after experiencing all of that. Because the truth is, he wasn't looking for a healer. He was looking for someone who would tolerate how he acted out his wounds. And you showed up with all of your anxiety and you fit the bill. But now it is time to reclaim your energy. Listen, Dr. Maya Angelou told us, when you know better, you do better. So know this. You can be compassionate and still say, I'm not saving you. You can love him and still walk away. And you can remain soft and still self-protect. Listen, your compassion is sacred, but it is meant to flow from your healing and knowing that you don't have to bleed for his healing. So the next time you feel tempted to be this good girl or to be that understanding woman, that ride or die, stop and ask yourself, who's riding for me? Ask yourself, who's really dying a little every time you choose his peace over yours? And if the answer is you're the one dying, it's time to wake up. Because compassion without discernment will bring you to a low place in your life. But compassion with boundaries will raise you higher and allow you to experience the abundance of love you were created and meant to receive. Now, if you made it this far in the video, you might as well go ahead and subscribe to the channel and join the sisterhood at awakenhernow.com. I know I said a lot, and I know I might have come off a little harsh, but I want you to comment below if you know that you have been betraying yourself and being too compassionate to an unhealed man. And do me another favor, share this video with another woman who needs this kind of content, who needs this kind of sisterhood. And I will see you all in the next video.